This is a tarot reading for Lorena, and I'm going to use the Sola Busca tarot cards, which is the ancient Illuminating tarot. Very unusual deck. This has a lot of history in it, but the cards are very significant and they read really well. So, Lorena has asked about a big decision that she recently made. She wants to know if it's going to be successful, if she's going to have love in her life, or passion, and in general how her life is going to turn out, and if things are going to follow the path she's hoping for. So, let's begin. Okay, the card that represents you is the Four of Swords. The card that crosses you is a reversed Knight of Swords. Your past foundation, and that is the Moon card. Your recent past, Venturio. I just love the names on these cards. And this is the Wheel of Fortune. The card for your current concern, how things are going right now in your life, is the Eight of Cups. Your near future is the Knight of Pentacles. The card that represents you, how you think about yourself, your environment, what you think your friends think of you, is the King of Pentacles. This is the card of family and friends, how they interact with you, what they think of you, and how you relate to them. And that is the Three of Cups. This card represents your wishes, your dreams, your goals, and this is the King of Wands reversed. Quite a few reversed cards. This is your outcome card, and that's the Knight of Wands. Okay, let's see. Well, the Four of Swords, as it relates to you, that's a card of banishment. And it doesn't mean banishment as in being stricken out of people's lives or out of your place. It means your past, you're letting go of things because they aren't what you wanted. They weren't your dreams, so you are removing yourself from things that have just not been successful for you. Swords are conflict cards, and from what I can see, you have had lived a conflict. You've had major ups and downs. You've always been self-assured with yourself. Some limitations on how you feel about what it is you want as far as a goal. But overall, you know what you're capable of. And I believe that you even know what decision you really want to make. Now the card that crosses you is the King of Swords. And I interpret that as being authentic. In other words, you have had some conflicts, concerns about yourself, which way you're going, the decisions you want to make. but you are making an authentic change. In other words, you're true to yourself. Whatever it is, and I believe there is something that you have held back on for a very, very long time, probably most of your life, this is your big decision. You are going to be who you are. You're going to come out and let people know who you are. You're going to make changes for yourself so that you feel better about what you want to do, where you want to go, and not about trying to put a face on for those around you. You have asked others what they think, what they recommend, but that's not what you believe. They don't understand you. They think they do, but they don't, because you're a very deep well. You see beauty in the world and everything, but at the same time you can spot something that's totally wrong, totally inauthentic, and things repulse you at times. So this conflict card right here, which represents you, and the card that's crossed over you is like a north and a south pole. You have magnetically been pulled apart inside, but now you're bringing it together. Your past foundation, well, it's an unusual card. The moon means insincerity in others around you, hidden dangers. I'm not sure how that relates to you personally, but I think as far as your early life, there were things that you were protected from, and maybe at some point in your life you realized that there were things that someone else was watching over you to prevent you from serious problems. It could have been an illness, it could have been your birth. Whatever it was has been overcome, and it looks like out of that has grown beauty in you. Through and through kind of beauty. That's the way that speaks to me. So there have been things that you had to overcome, and a lot of it were things that you found out later in life. I can't say really so much that it was physical, but it kind of feels like it was. It's also been this part of your life, this realization, this coming to fruition for you, that's given you the strength to look back and think, it's time for me to be who I am. It's time for me to make that choice. It's time for me to pick up myself and say, this is who I am. This is what I want, and not worry about what others think. Love for you is unusual. I think from this, and from the feeling that I get, is that the most beautiful thing to you, what strikes you as the most beautiful thing in the world, is the female body. I get that sensation. How that works out in your life, I'm not certain yet. I need to kind of look a little further in the cards, but it's coming through quite strongly. Your recent past, which is Venturio, which I find so interesting. The Wheel of Fortune. It means that things have come at you from different directions. Things just out of the blue, unexpected. And you've had so many choices to make that it's been confusing, absolutely confusing. When the Wheel of Fortune pops up like that and you're planning a big decision, it's because something in amongst all of those things came forward for you, touched a note in your heart, in your mind, in your soul, basically. The strength of it is incredible, considering where you've come from and where you've gone through right here. The Wheel of Fortune, for you, is a good thing. It's a positive thing. So if you're looking for that big change, this to me looks like it's a foundation in the recent past for you, an option that you've had open to you, that now you've determined what it is you want to do. Go forth. your current circumstance, which is the Eight of Cups, that's a card of love. It's not necessarily a sexual love, but the Eight of Cups is more like a journey, a turning point, a dissatisfaction with what you've had, and wanting to abandon your present circumstances and move on. Part of that is the beauty of the things that you see. You have an eye towards the future right now, and to me it looks like you've also seen many things that were beautiful. Perhaps being a traveler, that seems to be near and dear to your heart, from where you come to here in the Wheel of Fortune and to the Eight of Cups. To me that occurs that someone who wants to see more, experience more, wants to be out there and go places they haven't been, to travel, or you have traveled and it's in your heart that that's something you would really love to do, you really enjoyed it. You love people, you love communicating, you love the visual aspect of everything. When you go somewhere new, it's not the people you see first, it's the background, it's the beauty of it all. And then the people just fill in that gap. It warms your heart, it makes you feel good. And people respond to you because of your beauty. So you yourself have the strength to do just about anything you want, because you can relate to life. Not just individuals, but to life in general. As you're traveling your path, you're a kind of person who has a spiritual sense deep inside. And when someone comes into your life that has the same type of spiritual essence about them, you recognize that, but you don't want to follow. You want to join. And that's unusual. That's something that not a lot of people are able to do. It could be that this is a pursuit of a person. I'm not going to say a man, but I'm going to say of a person who has stimulated you, has made you wake, open your eyes, and feel like there is something out there for you. You need to search for something. You need to stop the stagnation, because the few periods that you have gone through and you've made a difference in your life have now come together and make sense to you. It makes you feel like you want to flow, you want to go forward, you want to see more beauty in the world, you want to see more beauty in love, you want to see more people in your life and grow with that. Your near future, which is the Knight of Pentacles, that's a financial card. And the Knight of Pentacles, that's a sign of prosperity and patience. Your feelings are reliable. You have the capabilities. I don't see that financial area of your life is stressed. I feel like you could move forward, like whatever it is that you feel now that you want to try, whatever it is that's different that you want to make this big change for, finances are not going to stop you or make it not happen. In fact, I think finances are going to make it a positive move for you. I don't see it as being a job. It might be a position. It might be a grant of some kind, where you've been offered an opportunity and you could take advantage of it. Someone will pull you through or push you through. I'm not sure which direction it's going. But for you, that's just part of the direction, the path that you've been taking. So you'll recognize that opportunity, or you have recognized that opportunity. It's open to you. Take it. Go for it. Because it's all looking like your path is stepping up. Now, the card here, the King of Pentacles, which is how you feel about your life, your environment, how your friends relate with you, the people that are around you all the time. The King of Pentacles, again, is a financial card. It shows a steadiness, a leadership, a trustworthy partnership. If there is someone that you have an interest in that has come into your life, you are feeling like this is something that is worthwhile. You hesitate because this is such a big change for you to be open about it and to actually make this choice. But it feels positive. It feels like it's an interaction, a communion kind of thing, where there is some bit of spiritualness about it, and that might be because it's a touching of the souls. This may be somebody from a past life who is coming back into your life, and you recognize them from the inside out, not from the outside. The Three of Cups, which is how people relate to you, how they see you, how they feel about you, how they interact with you. That is a card of love, love and relationships, that sort of thing. It also means good fortune. If you have a problem to solve, you have friends who are deeply feeling for you and who will actually support you in your choices. They look at you, they see the beauty within you and the beauty without. I see that in a lot of these cards, so I would say that you probably are attractive both physically and in your personality, because that's how people will treat you, that's how they feel about you. Your friends, though, they really do not see the internal part of you. I don't know if that's because you don't let it out, or it's just the type of friends that you relate to, that they aren't as deep as you are. But the relationships you have with them are satisfying. And in return, they appreciate you. They know you for who you are as they see you. But you still withhold, whether it's intentional or not. They don't go that deep. But lifelong friends, you know, these are people who will stay with you forever. Your Gold card, that's a reversed card, and that is the King of Wands. It's interesting that you have so many kings in here. That shows a strength of purpose. It also tells me that when you make a decision, you don't hold back. You don't always make the big decision, but when you do, your strength of purpose carries it right on through. So the King of Wands, which is your Gold card, that's a card of maturity and strength and intelligence, tolerance. It means that the choice that you want to make, the choices that are looming out there for you, right now you are at that point in your life where the maturity that it's taken you to gain it's coming to a fruition. So you are not overthinking these things. You are actually looking through the whole big picture of it, and there's a slice of that picture to you that seems to be most appealing. Your heart reaches for that. Your mind says, if I make this decision, there's no turning back, but I really want to go for it. So that is your goal. If you're opening up and letting people know who you are, if you're taking on a new responsibility with somebody who may capture your heart or may not capture your heart, or who may just financially give you opportunity, then this goal is the proper direction that you're taking, and I think it's a great choice for you. Right at the moment, I don't see a new love coming into your life, but from what I can see here, there is someone who you have a love for. This may be platonic. I'm not certain. I don't feel the maleness of it, is what I'm trying to say. So this may be a very, very close female relationship. But that is going to carry you through. That's going to be the strength of you, the backbone. And your outcome card, which is the Knight of Wands. Another wand card. That's interesting. It says you want to be careful. You don't want to be too hasty in your decision. Even though you've made this choice, you may want to delay it just a little bit. Think a little bit further, test the waters if possible. Consider all your other options. It doesn't say not to make the decision. It says do not do it in haste. In other words, if you've been thinking about this long enough and you feel absolutely certain that this is going to be your best choice of those options that are open to you, making this huge change in your life, if you are comfortable with it, if it feels 100% like the best route for you to take, then make that choice. If you've hesitated at all, if you've had any negative thoughts about it, give yourself just a little bit more time before making that big choice and making that step, just so that you have the most positive outcome there is. I see it as being a positive move for you, having looked through your cards and all the influences here, as far as like the beauty and the love in your life and the choices that you want to make and the opening up and the becoming the person you want to be and the maturity level that you're at. I see it as a positive move. But the outcome card still says, as long as it's not in haste. So from what I can see, Lorena, you are on the right path. You are going to make a decision that's going to be a positive thing for you. There will be an influence in your life. There is a female relationship, someone you're very close to who will be a positive force in your life. Opening up will not be detrimental to you in any way. Making this choice, making this decision, and if it includes traveling, that's so close to your heart, then that is definitely a direction you want to take. As far as I can tell, I don't see anything negative. In fact, I see, like I said, the positive strengthening in the King cards. Even the Knight, the Knight of Wands, is a positive card. So I would say go for it. And I really hope this helps you. Thanks.